yourself.
Yeah.
But I understand. Sometimes I walk only, 10 minutes or 15 minutes. It's like, but I'm outside.
Yeah, that's nice. I remember in March and in April, I stayed all the week home, and I even didn't walk outside, even for groceries.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like some desire to close in my shell because of because of all this stress and all this stuff.
I have to because one time per week I have to go to work. Then it was good because I have to go to outside. Yeah? But of course, it was like record. 5 days, 6 days. I bought some food from outside. They brought me my car, and yeah, this is really strange.
I think Losha is giving us signals to
wow.
start.
Okay, we can start.
I mean, it's your session. Take your time. But yeah, I think we can do a formal introduction. Yeah, like just a second. Yeah.
Where we are.
All right. Hi to everyone who already joined us and also who is watching us live on Facebook. Today is the day of once again to talk about important and today hard stuff, because topics that are chosen today may not be easy for artists to discuss, because we will touch the themes of artistic observation and response, private versus public, how does it feel to be pressured by society to react, and many more. And although, yeah, the themes may not be easy, but I'm sure we will have a lovely and interesting discussion. Today we are joined by our amazing artists, Iwona Zając from Poland and Olia Fedorova from Ukraine. And I think we are ready to start, but before we do, I have just one more thing. Asked me to demonstrate to our viewers this little flag that we made on our solidarity action with Polish women, and from the face of Platform 2 and our project, I just want to say that we completely support and stand by the brave Polish women who are fighting for their rights, and we are supporting you, and you're awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right, ladies, I'm giving you the word.
Yeah, thanks, Losha. I also, from my side, I just wanted to express my support to you, Iwona, and to all the Polish women that are facing right now these awful circumstances, and adding to the COVID-19 situation, it's been like it's been striking news when we all found out that this law is happened, and like it's like, for me personally, it was like really hard to react, and to like, in terms of support, it's always hard to support when you are away from this problem when you are like abroad and when you are like not yet experienced it by yourself. It's really hard to find the words, find the right words, because when you are not into these situations by yourself, it's you cannot, like in my opinion, you cannot say you're totally solidarized with the people that are inside and surviving this like at the full. So yeah, but be sure that I trying to put my emotions to the words, but I cannot. But I assure you that my feelings and my all my inner, like, it's with your and with Polish women. Yeah. So yeah, sorry for this. Yeah, we said that it would be quite emotional conversation, and we and we did it like that. So
Thank you, Olga. Yes, we know about this. We discussed before about this thema. We know it will be hard and it will be emotional. And you and me are really, definitely, we try to be not emotional in our project, to take a distance, to be observer, to find good voice, to talk about something. But sometimes it's not possible when you are inside exactly. And in this really difficult situation when this is a lot of fear. We care about our families. We're worried about everything, actually, about everything, and in this moment we need to fight for our rights. Yeah, we have to cross the line. We knew when we are outside, we take a risk, and it's not. And also I think about doctors and. My sister, she is a doctor, and I am worried about her, because of course when we are outside, then this is much more it's much more people with COVID after that, and this is problem with hospitals, with doctors, with all this stuff. But yeah, definitely I think, this is my private opinion, our government crossed the line. Yeah, and this is why this reaction is so strong. But also it's so difficult to, for example, because when I go outside to be with people, this is really not my piece of cake. I really it is really not natural for me. But I found some nice posters my friend sent to me. Then they cross the line, and even I am introvertic, I have to join this protest. Yeah. I don't know, it is good English, but it's just like something like this. Yeah. They cross the line, and we need to cross our line. Yeah. But definitely I am in this things in this moment as a private person. It's so difficult to be as an artist in this situation. But I try to find my language for this, and I read book. I am really like observer for this. What's happened to, because I really know then it is easy to use us, and definitely they will use us, definitely, because it is easy to use this demonstration to play with games, politics games, and to when we have more ill people after that, government can say, oh, this is because demonstrations or something like this. Yeah, it's not really easy.
yeah, I think they like everywhere. I think in the world, some political forces uses this pandemic to push some awful
Yes.
laws and stuff. And even in Ukraine, I guess we had this election like recently, but the people, like, really so little people attended the elections. I assume that it's not just because people in Ukraine are not really like politically active like recent times. Most of younger people are not so active, but also because many of them just afraid to get infected and like on during these elections. And so we have like really awful situation with the forces elected, and yeah, in my city, like this, yeah, it's really awful, like, and we are going to pay for it for 5 years after that. So for our, but it's a natural fear, like a fear of death, a fear of getting infected and get your like family infected. But yeah, you understand that if you do not risk right now, you will pay for it, for you're not risking for a longer period. And it's yeah, I think, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying about crossing the lines, and that you need to cross your line also, because yeah, it's something like really awful that you are going to live with it in your country. And if letting them do this now, so many people would you know we would suffer.
And you know what was interesting, when I was on one demonstration, I heard when people talk about Belarus, they talk because we saw how brave the women are brave there, and we really are with I don't know how it's in English, Belarus.
It's Belarus.
Belarus,
Yeah.
and actually it is a courage. This is why it is like something, we can do it. This is not like because we saw really powerful dictator and with army, and people are brave and go out. And I think it was also impulse for us, because we saw how brave are women and people in Belarus, and it's also not so. It is short time between this what's happened in Belarus and still happened, and in Poland, and I think this is why also it's easier for us to be outside.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I think I was thinking that there should be some like this line, this point after which you cannot stand it anymore. And yeah, in Belarus and in Poland, it happened that it was this point. And I think that the fact that it happened like in circumstances of lockdown and like these measures to ban these mass gatherings, so that and all this stress, all this concentration of all these, like, shit around, so it just let people, like, their temper, like they lose their temper. So I was thinking, would it work like that if it happened like in more peaceful times,
Yes.
less stressful times? So it's interesting to guess, because yeah, Belarus had experience, like, for example, I follow the news, and they had experienced these mass strikes against, like after the previous elections of this dictator, they experienced all these strikes, but it wasn't so massive, It was, but not so. And we see that in many countries right now, these protests get massive, like really massive. And I follow the situation in like in Russian Khabarovsk also. So they protest for, like, it is surprising for this country, because they do not like really protest so much. Like pity. But and in other countries, and even those demonstrations in like against the lockdown measures in Germany and everywhere. And right now, after this situation, like this awful situation in France, so maybe it's like something like, maybe it's my mistake that but I see this protest get so massive. Maybe it's just my view, but you know, it's
Yeah, it's happened. It is a real life, you know, and but definitely we have to care about ourselves, about, you know, because when sometimes when we spend our, you know, day to watch news, or, you know, it is so difficult with our physical means, because, you know, it's so easy to break down or something like that, like this. For example, I really try to be healthy, to swim in the sea, you know, to use my butt, to cycling, to be strong, not to be to not, because, you know, this is when you start think about all these things, then the fear is so big, and you can't even take a breath. Breathe. And also with this expression, when we talked last time, then we probably have the same expression, really inside, like, you know, and it's not easy to try a way to be with this thema and with life like this. It is so easy to use our studio or place to lock down ourselves and be in this bubble, bubble.
yeah, I think.
Yeah. And to say, no, this fucking world outside is not for me. I will stay outside from this all shit. And but I think, and I know how it is easy. I really, I know this. I feel very, very comfortable inside, in my house or in my studio. I don't need people for, you know, long period. But this is what I really fight now to be with people. Actually, I really fight with myself to really cross the line, to be with people, to talk about this, to definitely. But this is like the 60% I'm observer, yeah, or 60 or 70 even percent I am observer.
Yeah, I see the interesting question, like from Oksana Kazimina, and this is almost the similar question to what I was intending to ask. Yeah, I may read it, or like Losha would, because he's like our host today, or
Yes.
If no one minds, there is also a short remark from Diana, who at some point earlier added to Iwona's words. The thing is that in this pandemic COVID wave that is up now, the most vulnerable group is women, healthcare workers, and they get even more oppressed now with this abortion law.
Yeah.
Thank you, Iwona. All right, and the question for Iwona from Oksana. Iwona, I would like to ask, why do you think it's hard to be an artist in this situation? Thank you.
Because for myself, I need distance when I use my art, because nowadays, because I used to work outside really quickly, like, you know, what's happened in my life, it was on the wall. Yeah, it was like my private diary, really outside. And it was my expression when I was younger or in different moment in my life. But now, when I have contact with myself, which is really private, really, like, you know, like I need time to understand what's happened. I don't like now this emotional impulse, you know, because I really need to understand what happened, because before I was like, I push myself, like something happened and I reacted. But now I really like this distance, to take a to take a breath, to make one step out or something like this, and to think what happened. And when it's so strong situation like this, it is for me like, you know, whoa, so difficult. I was on demonstration, and you know, I was actually between 5 drinking guys who joined this demonstration because it was some fun, and they use aggressive words, and it was, you know, really not my piece of cake. Like really, I don't feel comfortable with this. I was there because, you know, of course I am against the situation, but my comfortable zone was really not in this area. And with art, I really need for myself time and distance. This is because I am in this moment with my art in my life. Maybe I more understand myself, and or maybe I'm older and this is what's happened naturally. I don't know. I think I have big, much more stronger contact with myself, and this is why I reacted. I react like this now. I hope so. This is, you know, answer, Oksana, for you.
That's great what you're saying about like distancing, like the need for distance. Yeah, like from my side, I really totally agree with you, because when you're like, in my opinion, when you are reacting immediately, your reaction would maybe too emotional and too like, you know, this first emotion, first action, first thought, it may be even more destructive than if you go step back and like view the situation more like carefully, like take a short, like as you said, take a short breath in, breath out, and then you may, so this, I think, not only in art but in every situation it works like that. So to make the decision to give an answer, you like some people, they are like, they manage to do it like immediately as a blink. But for some like for introverted people especially, so for me it works also. So I even I might say that for like from my side, when I first react to something, I react even with my body. Like I start trembling, I start like suffocating, and it doesn't make any good for my art and for anything I like anything. And when I like go to some you know, to some fight to express my opinion and to express my reaction, I really, so I feel that when I look on what I've done after that, I think that, oh, it was really destructive for me. So yeah, what I learned, that when I feel something like this, when I have this body reaction, I should just calm down, step back, and to try to wait for some I don't know, for some period, and then give my response to that, like but a really thoughtful response, really calm response, because I think it is when in our time when everything is so quick, we need, like very often we need to slow down, like to forcefully slow down these all these processes, to give the something that is not just immediate and thoughtless, but often from I see that from artists it's somehow required a very quick reaction, a very quick response, and some artists manage to do that, and they're also great, but some need break and need to slow down, and what I'm just want from this art society, that to accept all the kind of artists because they are all humans. We somehow we accept the fact that all the humans are different from each other. Some are like extroverted, introverted, like, you know, but from artists, we like often we forget that artists are humans also, and they are all different too, and it doesn't make them less valuable. You know, if we can say something like that. So that, yeah, it was just my thought about distancing from these kind of very emotional and very difficult events.
Yeah, this is because we have to, yes, sorry, Lasha.
I don't want to interrupt. There is just some stuff in the chat, but finish your thought and I will continue afterward.
I really agree with you. Then we need this to care about ourselves and to listen our reaction, because, you know, this is what I thought about my past. I didn't listen my body. I was really not so good for my body. I used my body really, you know, every day. Art was all my life, and I was totally ill after that. And I learned if I will talk about something, I need to care first of all about myself, about my body, and listen my body and my reaction.
Yeah. All right. Oksana also comments regarding your answer to her question, I believe. Crossing the lines looks like sufficient artistic practice.
Yes.
And also there's a question from Iwona. Is it a difference between older and younger generation? Between older and younger generation of artists in reaction on the situation on the streets and in politics?
Actually, I don't know. I think, you know, when we talk with Olga, this is actually, Olga definitely is younger than me. And she got the same reaction like, you know, myself. I think it is really, of course, definitely when you are older, you have a different experience. And as Oksana told, as an artist, definitely we have to cross the line. This is why, you know, we try. This is not like, you know, we talk about this thema. We knew it will be difficult for both of us, but we cross the line. Yeah, we don't talk about, you know, something comfortable for us, for ourselves. We take this risk, and we know this. I know, for example, then, you know, when I choose this kind of life, then I have to be part of this. Like, you know, I decided to work with myself and with my art outside. I talk with audience. I heard reaction, and it is so difficult when you are introverted. Yeah, but I work with this. Yeah. Because I like to talk about something. I like to talk with people. This is why I'm painter, but I choose to work with murals because I really like to talk with audience, yeah, immediately, not in the gallery with this private people or people who are only in art world. But yeah, but definitely it is like for me, for myself, when I'm older and I know myself much more better than it was when I was young. I learn about myself to be observer and not to react immediately, because sometimes my immediately reaction was like expression because emotion were too big for me, and reaction was so quickly. Yeah. And I don't know, this is definitely when we are young, it is not also natural, yeah, that we are much more expressive, most of us, yeah, but not all young people are like this. Yeah. I think I am now, you know, almost 50, then, you know, I can say like, oh. What do you think, Olga?
I don't know about actually the difference between like I can say that older generation is like that and the younger is like that. I think the difference more between like in each group, like the difference inside each group is bigger than the difference between these groups. So within the younger, the groups of the younger people, the younger artists, they are like really so various. I know personally like people who would immediately react, immediately like respond, like make the artistic response, and those who would like distance, so like and stay silent for some time, and they are all maybe within the same like this age group, but I think that they are working like in terms of artists, if we speak about the artists, younger artists, they may work in different like spheres of art. I might say that artists that are working more with social political art and the art like which is really like, you know, on the razor's blade, like really sharp and cutting edge. I don't know the proper term in English, but they are as I can, like in my opinion, as I watch, as I see, they are more like immediately responsive. But others that work with other topics, like mostly intimate, mostly personal, they tend not to do this immediate like reactions, and I cannot really like make like these statements or, you know, opinion. Like I just tell what I see and what I perceive, that that mostly like people who are artists who work with more intimate and with body and or with like something psychology, they tend to wait and to like to distance, to remain even like outside, to stay outside of the problem, and they are often like treated as I like when we spoke before this session, that as Diana said, like cowards and pussies, that because they are not like really sharp. So yeah, I heard like this reaction like that. So why don't you respond like immediately? You are maybe a coward if you do not go and you do not in the avant-garde of this demonstration with your art. You are a coward. But like for me, it's really not really bad to say like that, you know, because it puts some pressure on the artist and on their expression. Not all the artists could do like that, so it's not natural for many of artists. As it would be like the same as we force introverted people to go and party and be the heart and the soul of the party. They would act unnatural and they would suffer. So, and everyone around would see they suffer, you know, the same. So yeah, but I think it's interesting that even like within these groups of like older people and the younger people, they are very, very different inside these groups. So I wouldn't say that there is a difference between them because it's much wider. It's much more diverse and interesting to talk about.
May I?
Yeah.
Diana adds to Olia's words about cowards. Those who react immediately are called fools and freaks. So you are never all good for everybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
She also said, it seems that being outside for both of you is not only about emotional distancing. It is also about your artistic practice. Murals in public spaces, outer walls, open spaces. Do you think it is connected somehow?
This is Olga, what do you think? Because
It's very hard to think if it is connected, if it is like somehow influences some practice. When you are doing something, you just do and and you think about what you do just like long after you've done it. So it's the same question many artists are being asked about how your context influenced your art, how your education influenced your art, or anything. It's hard to define like on the spot. So from my side, I can say that it's just what I like to do. I like being in these open spaces. It's the space that in terms even of body response, when I in the open space, I feel that my body is really comfortable with it. So I feel comfortable, and we often speak about comfort zones and that we should like escape the comfort zone. But I think it depends. It depends, and there are many kinds of comfort zones. Whether it's a comfort zones for your body when you're really when you're doing sports, the sports that you are not used to, it's like getting away from your comfort zones in terms of your body reactions, or when you are doing something following some opinion that you are not really into, or following some, or forced to do something you're not supporting. It's also like escaping the comfort zones. For me, it's more easy to escape the comfort zones in terms of the art. So when my body is feels comfortable. So that's why it's very hard, very difficult for me to, as I told, that when I immediately react, I feel my body feels not well. And so that's why I cannot do art in this in this situation, in these circumstances. So I need to step back or need to go to some place to calm my body, and then I will be able to even think, to even have my brain okay. So it's what I know about me, about myself as an artist, that I'm not an emotional one, not an like expressionist something. So I'm more about logic and thinking. So that's what I know about myself and open spaces. So
yeah, for myself, when I choose outside to work outside, it was like because I really need contact. I really want to have contact with people, with real people, to discuss with them. And also it was reaction because for 5 years I don't have studio, and I like big format, but when you don't have studio, then it's so difficult to work like this. And the wall was for me like natural canvas. Like, I use this for my diary, for my picture, for my painting. And also it was freedom for me, for myself. Because I finished art academy and I heard a lot of things about paintings, and I feel really like someone close to myself, like I about colors, about freedom. And this is why when I started to paint murals, it was huge freedom. As I probably talk about this when I use colors which I used to I can't imagine these colors together after art academy, but I use pink, yellow, green, like big contrast, and I really don't care about this. And because I really need freedom and to discuss and this discussion with people and life. At that time, as I was thinking, I still thinking about this. This is a huge problem. And in the gallery, the galleries are without life, without real life. This is a huge problem for myself. Because now I really rarely paint some mural. I left this language because I recognized that this is too many murals outside and too many pictures, and actually it is aggressive also for citizens and for city and for architecture. And I only sometimes use this kind of technique because I really love walls. I really like this moment when I am outside and I am connected with the wall. I touch her, not her, but it is her for me. I like to see what kind of structure is there, how I can work with this, and I think about how it is when it is outside, what's happened with people with my mural when they see this, a lot of things. But nowadays I really try. I really like this still to. I use art as a language to talk about something what is important for me. And sometimes it doesn't matter what kind of tools I use. Sometimes it's movie, sometimes it's radio, sometimes this is installation. I think much more important for me. I talk a lot about this. That art for me is like my friends. My art is changing when I am changing, because when I don't have money, then I use what I can find. When I don't have a studio, then I change format for my work. When I don't have house, I use stencils, because stencils is easy to reproduce, to make, and yeah, and this is how I work. Sometimes this is outside, sometimes it's inside. Definitely, I really like to work outside. I really like this contact with people, but also with this outside area, yeah, with this landscape, with this voice of the city or nature.
Thank you for the answers. We have some more comments. Magda, watching us on Facebook, says, a very important and up-to-date conversation, woven solidarity, women power, greetings from Gdańsk.
Thank you.
Alice has an observation. It's interesting because in Greek philosophy, temperance, moderation in acts and speech and emotion is considered a virtue, whereas the excess of anything was always connected to weakness.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that I have read while we were discussing, I was like one eye to the chat and read this Alice.
You are so good, or I can try, Olga.
Yeah. So it was like interesting comment from Alice because when I read it, I thought about the Bushido philosophy, like Japanese samurai philosophy, but I was fond of it when I was a teenager. So I read these books of samurai and their philosophy, and this is famous book like on Bushido hidden in the leaves. I don't know how it is, but was like pretty much about it, about the like the access in emotions and access in reaction, and so it was considered bad for a real like warrior, real samurai, and it was like something. So as a teenager, it was like something wow for me. So like because our like Western civilization is also like, and nowadays it's like full of emotions and full of like the excessive expression of emotions, and you see it everywhere, like, and I felt it as a teenager that I see it everywhere, and it was like a wow effect for me that in some philosophy the temperance was considered a virtue, as Alice says. So yeah, it's just a quick comment. I think maybe I'm following this like philosophy, like not following the philosophy, but I but I remember some statements from it, like even today. So it made like a really big impression for me, like that time. So just like inside me, it's just funny thing I thought of.
We also have a question for both artists from Sashko. Where do you think this responsiveness under pressure in the modern world and art comes from? Thanks in advance.
I don't know. It is only nowadays. I think it was happened in the past also. This is like this artist. For example, in Poland, it was like a Polish artist have to respond because what's communism, and you have to be someone like we have, for example, a huge generation artists, actors who didn't play in the theater because it was communism and it was martial law, after martial law. And you can imagine, whole generation young artists, they couldn't play. Yeah, they can't play, and they choose churches. They play in the church or in private, because at that time church was the one place which was where you can find freedom. It's funny actually, because they used to wear open. You can use church as a gallery, and yeah, definitely was a place where you can perform yourself. But anyway, I think the pressure for artists to be someone or to answer. This is like I remember some moment when I was really popular, and I receive a lot of emails when people ask me about job. They try to find job, and because this is like the strange connection when you are in media. When you can see you on TV or on newspapers, people think you have some power, or I don't know what. At that time, I was poor. I don't have any power. I was only popular because I made a lot of projects at that time. Yeah, but this is funny how we think about people, and we as an artist, we used to are with ourselves and with our art outside. Yeah, we show our art, and this is maybe I I found this thema how difficult it is to be with this one identity. It's just like two identities, yeah. one is me as myself, as an Iwona Zając, and another is me as an artist, yeah, as a woman artist.
Yeah, it's I agree with you, Iwona, and yeah, as I told that people often forget that the artist is a person, is a human, and not something like like a star, or just so I think it's probably it's natural when people put some expectations on the public people, and when artist does something publicly, he or she becomes a public person, and experiences some these expectations being put. But I think also we have some image of the artist which is like set in our minds, and it is cultivated in media, and in when you're studying at the academy, you're like, it's being like just repeated and repeated, and set in your mind. So I just remember this, like the famous statement that artists should be poor, artists should be hungry, or at the same time the statement that artist earns a lot of money. So it's just it blows my mind. So, and it's with these as having these like prejudice about someone. It's it's really easy to manipulate people. So when you're like, it's even like on the basic like private life, so like the expectations from a girl or a boy, so it's easy to manipulate with a person when you just say, oh, like boys or girls shouldn't or should do like that, and it puts the like the guilt on yourself, and you just try to act like people expect from you, just not to be rejected. And yeah, people just use it because yeah, it's very nice when you just can say a few words, and the other person does everything you wish. So yeah, and it's like from my personal like experience, like people often manipulate like artists when they want something done for free, for the line in CV, and these stuff. So just you're an artist, you should just be happy to do art, or this kind of stuff. And about the responsiveness, I think it's like this image of artist is said that the artist is someone who is always in the avant-garde. It's like the old image. I think it's been like from the like 100 years ago, the artist is avant-garde artist. So like the artist is the one who is carrying who is bringing future here. And if you're not doing something like that as an artist, you're considered like, I don't know, outbeat or a coward or else. So this is all about it's not just about artists, it's all about people having prejudices and set images in their heads, and not thinking that every person is individual, and everyone should respect this individual, and do not put any expectations on other people except yourself. I don't know. So this is all like, for me, all is like, it's not exclusive for artists. It's all like it's basic laws and basic like of people, like people life and psychology. So yeah, that's what I think about it. I don't know if Sashko is happy with our answers, but from my side,
I would love it. And we have one more question to both artists. Kind of simple but a loaded one. How do you wake up emotions in people?
This is difficult English. What it mean? What it mean?
Well, to wake up emotions in someone, you know, to make someone produce an emotional response to something that you do, I guess.
For example, in my opinion, I used to work with people. I made a lot of workshops. When I work outside, I work with community, and I use social media to contact people, to be with people. But I was an artist, and you know, I have problem with people start to think about ask me about, you know, in private life, like, you know, they cross the line for me, for myself, you know, they invited me to the cinema or something like this. It was so difficult when you are as a person. For example, during 1 year I've got, you know, 10 projects like this, huge big project with a lot of people, new people with new emotion, and you have to be every day in contact, you know, like, you know, with social media you have to put photos, talk with them, and they visited you, you are talk with them in the gallery, outside. After it was particular 1 year, because I work like this for many years, but 1 year was when I really feel enough, because, you know, it was really no life, not normal life for myself. And you know, after that I start to work, for example, in the theater. I was a steward in the theater, in Shakespeare theater, and I love this moment when I work also as a guide. I made guide tour, and people recognize me in the shop as a person who was with them during this tour in the theater. I wasn't anymore for these people an artist. I was for them some woman who showed them theater, and I feel really relief, and I was happy with this, because when I was working as an artist with people and with this emotion and with my art, it was every time on this with this high voice. This is with high voice of emotion, and it's like drug, and it is like heroin, and it is really unhealthy for myself. And now when I walk, I'm really careful. And also when I work like this, it was hard to me to understand what people feel. I feel like, you know, this vampire, emotional vampire, who use people actually for project, and after that say them goodbye. And now I really try to be with people, but I know then I need distance also, because I am not friend. Sometimes we can be friends after that, but project is project, art is art. Me and my private is a different things. And of course, sometimes when people share emotion with me, because they send me some email or talk with me about what's happened when they have contact with my art, it is really emotional for myself, how they read my art, and I'm really happy with this because I can feel it is so international language, human language, and nowadays I feel much more comfortable with this because I feel I don't use people, or I really try to be really respectful and careful for people which I work with. I don't know what is good answer or not. Olga.
It's a great answer.
Yeah, I think I'm not trying to wake up emotions in someone intentionally, because you know I don't feel like really that I am ready for this responsibility. I try to, in what I doing, I'm trying to speak firstly about myself, what I feel, and what I like consider the art like it's a language to like to speak from myself. So this is a language I can really speak out with. And when I talk about what bothers me, and people respond to it, and people feel that they are like understand what I'm saying, what I'm talking about, and they feel like that they have the same or similar feelings. It surprised me like every time, but it makes me happy because, yeah, I think that no one is like very unique. We have like pretty much similar problems. We are like problems, bothers, fears, or like concerns, and like some reactions. We just often, as I learned, we often do not know that other people have similarities with us because we don't speak like with them. And yeah, when I speak to people like that with art, I find out that I have like many like people thinking as myself, many people sharing with me some thoughts or some fears. And it's important to know that you are not alone in this, in bad things and in good things, that you are not you're can share and you can be understood. So that's why I'm not trying to like wake up something, but when it happens, it makes me like feel like really, it's really nice to see this response. That means that what you are talking about, it's somehow finds I don't know, some answer, some like, you know, some, so people react on it, people find it interesting, and people find it close to what they really think and feel. And it's so when people talk to me like or write to me, I don't know, it's the moment when the communication is successful. And it's really important to me to have a successful communication, because like there is a lot of communication nowadays and the ways of communication. So it's very often when we get these misunderstandings. And yeah, it's important to find where the understanding can happen. And yeah, so that's from my side.
All right. For now, we are out of questions. But would you like to discuss something on your own? Is there any topic you would like to point out?
May I promote my project within this residency? Because we talked about sharing.
Yes.
And my project is like pretty much about the sharing. So for those who don't know, who are watching us on Facebook and not following us for some reason, yeah, I strongly invite you to join my project, which is named Honestly. And in it, I ask people to share their honest feelings and thoughts regarding the quarantine reality and the lockdown reality, because yeah, we all have this stress, I guess. I assume all the stress and fears connected to this, and especially when these second wave measurements are coming back. But there is a lack of this honesty in social media, and that's why many of us may think that other people surviving this quarantine somehow another way, more successful, more, you know, learning these various languages and courses and elsewhere. But I strongly invite you to share the actual reality. Thank you, Losha, for posting the link. Where I hope that through it many of us may find some you know, peace through knowing that other people have also similar feelings and similar thoughts, and that we are not alone in this pandemic situation. So this is the intention of the project. So please share your stories through this form that you may find on the website and here in Zoom chat and on Facebook and everywhere we post it. So yeah, thank you for letting me promote my project, and for me it's all that I wanted to say.
Yeah, for me, this is, you know, was Olga, thank you, and Alosha, and all people who are with us. And I am totally tired. I think only now about, you know, dinner. I am hungry, not angry, hungry. Maybe a little bit angry, but not because of you. And yes, and thank you, and you were with us.
Yeah, thank you for me. Thank you, Iwona, for this conversation. It was really, really, really cool for me. Yeah, it's hard to find the proper words, especially in English.
Yes, it's really good word. I know.
Yeah, thank you, Losha, for moderating.
Yes.
Your help is always can be,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes. Oh.
All right, so I guess that sums it up. Thanks to our lovely artists for such an interesting discussion. Thanks for everyone who joined us in Zoom and on Facebook. Stay tuned for updates on the next sessions and some other stuff in our project. A good time to remind you all that we actually have a website. Yeah, you should check it out. On our Facebook and Instagram, you can find many interesting stuff about the project and the artists. Yeah, I believe we will see you next time somewhere around 13th of November, but don't quote me on that. All right. Thank you, everyone, and have a great time of the day. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.